There are 3 hotels inside the walls, and now we're going to take you on an extensive tour of the hotel that we stayed at. This is Dennis Callan in Carcassonne. This is one of the best preserved medieval towns in the world. And as you can see behind us, there's an amazing castle that's right at the heart of Carcassonne. And I'm here with Mr. Jaques Hamburger, who's the general manager of the Hotel de la Cite, which is located inside the walls of the fortified town. It's a remarkable hotel in an incredible location. We're in the southwest part of France, and I want to thank you for sharing your hotel with us. Thanks
it's a pleasure,
very much.
Mr. Callan. Very nice.
This is a fabulous place you've got here.
Good. Glad you like it.
It's a dream hotel. You must have amazing reactions from your clients.
Yeah, you do.
When they
because
come here.
if you're not stirred by this ambiance, I don't think anything else will stir you.
Yeah, you might as well stay home.
Absolutely.
And yet it's a place that's a little obscure. People don't get to Carcassonne very often. Of course, 3 million tourists a year do find their way to Carcassonne.
Yeah.
But on the world map, it's a very
small town. Only 45,000 inhabitants, and it's slightly off the beaten track. Yet, you know, if you look in the background, we have an airport. We have flights to London and Brussels, and we're not completely forgotten.
And the TGV comes directly here.
Absolutely.
So there's really easy access to Carcassonne, and it's worth the trip.
In the background, you have the main feature, the most important castle of the whole town of the citadel of Carcassonne, which is called the Chateau Comtal. And from there on, from that place, you have tours that go along the ramparts that circle the whole city. And this goes back first to Roman times, and then the peak of Carcassonne was around the 11th and 12th century, where this was the major stronghold and a place from which a lot of the Crusades that went to the Holy Land. And there were, of course, many battles and many invasions and takeovers and burnings and Catars and things that went on at that time in history. Carcassonne is a medieval fortress town rather than village in the southwest of France at the foot of the Pyrenees. It has the largest walled-in citadel of any place actually in the world, completely walled in. This goes back to the 11th and 12th century. The restoration of Carcassonne started in the mid of 19th century, around 1860, and has practically been going on ever since, and it's virtually completed now. The Hotel de la Cite is on the ramparts in the citadel. In 1997, our company, Orient Express Hotels, bought this property and went through an extensive restoration with the French Conservation Trust, because this is, of course, a landmark building. Some parts of it are even protected inside. As you can see, this is the entrance of the Hotel de la Cite. This is all built in this neo-Gothic revival style. It was actually built in 1908. And the site on which it was built on was the site of an Episcopalian palace that was actually the home of the Bishop of Carcassonne until 1789, until the Revolution, when all this was torn down, burned, and destroyed. So for about 100 years there was nothing there, and then a local developer built a hotel. However, there is one tower that goes back to the 11th century that is completely enclosed within a section of the building. Inside the tower, which is hollow, there is now a transmitter for mobile phones. So this is where 11th century meets 21st century, a remote antenna. Okay, we're here in the tower, the medieval tower, the 11th century tower of the hotel. And this serves as a staircase from the 3rd floor all the way down. You're looking at a building there that says Chez Saskia, which is actually one of our restaurants. That is the oldest building in town, after the Basilica. The advantage of staying at the Hotel de la Cite is that you are in the Cite. The life, particularly in summer, is very close. You will later on tour the city, and you will see the different areas where there are outdoor cafes and all the shops are open, and it's very lively. Well, spring and fall are the best time of the year to visit Carcassonne. Summer is nice also, but it's very busy. There are a lot of people. There are a lot of tourists. It's quiet on the hotel side because where you saw the gardens, I mean, these are only for hotel guests, so there's never much noise or disturbance on that side of the city, but the city is very busy during summer. Well, this is our medieval suite here, as you can see, and the main feature of the suite are the original beams that have been restored, but they are original. And the wood paneling is in the pure style of the period, again 12th, 13th, 14th century. The floors, the terracotta floors, and the canopy bed. Well, we're on the terraces above the Barbican restaurant, and these were developed quite recently. And as you can see, they enhanced the rooms, the 4 rooms that are on this floor. So why don't you follow me and we'll go out through the garden. As you can see, you have the clipped hedges, the French-style garden, and terraces, which we have built on the first floor. The gardens have been also there for a long time, but have been rearranged, redeveloped. You will notice that the hedges are cut out like a fortress. And this is something we started a few years back. There are 3 restaurants in the hotel. One is a garden restaurant, which is only open during the summer, which is al fresco. And then there is a brasserie type, a sort of all-purpose restaurant that's open breakfast, lunch, and dinner, which has mostly regional foods, cassoulet and local dishes. And then there is a Michelin star restaurant, the sort of gourmet gastronomic restaurant, and that is open in summer and in spring and in the fall, and it's only open at night. 61 rooms, 13 of them are suites and 8 are junior suites. So there's really 61 keys. In hotel language, you go by keys. You can see in the background the basilica. Again, this was restored in the time of Viollet-le-Duc, the historian architect in the late 19th century. You're just standing in front of the basilica. The most important building in town would be the church, and probably it's the oldest also. The pool of the hotel is in the background, and as you can notice, we're in the fall with the colored foliage. This is our swimming pool, and it has an unusual feature is that you can swim and pray at the same time, or pray and swim, because the church is right, the basilica is right in the background.
And it's heated, you say?
And it's heated, of course. Okay, what you're looking at now is the herb garden of the hotel. We have mint, we have all sorts of herbs there that are used daily by our chef.
Ah, to the good life. Yes, indeed, it's fun to splurge once in a while. The main restaurant of the Hotel de la Cite has earned a Michelin star, and that's quite an accomplishment. So this would seem to be a fine place to sample the cassoulet, which is one of the specialties of the south of France, and in particular the Carcassonne region. Some beans and sausage and some chunks of various meats, and then save room for dessert. A full-on dessert trolley comes around to your table, and you can just feast your eyes, decide if you want to go for a healthy fruit dessert, or go ahead and indulge yourself in a chocolate fantasy cake or some meringue or what have you. It's France, and they are so famous for pastries. The outside of the Hotel de la Cite and a few shots of the interior. It's quite a deluxe hotel. They have a lovely breakfast service as well, which is good because in the town, we're inside the walled town, remember, there really were no restaurants open at 7 a.m. and you'd like to have breakfast at 7, relax, enjoy your meal, take a leisurely pace and take a stroll through the grounds and then back up to your room. Notice this glassed-in corridor. We're in one of the newer rooms that were built about 100 years ago, so that's new for Carcassonne. And the rooms are all splendid in this hotel. There are a range of junior suites and regular double rooms. It's operated by the Orient Express company. And one of the treats you get is this bar of chocolate with the picture of the castle on the bar of chocolate. That's quite a trick. We're in the fall season, so the leaves are still turning color. And here's the view outside our room. It's right onto one of the medieval lanes, and we get to watch this little restaurant operation across the street, a creperie, and you'll see how the crepe is made. The fresh batter poured onto the hot crepe griddle and spread ultra thin. And the customers are standing waiting their turn for a freshly made crepe. Flip it over and pat it down. This is nice to have it freshly made instead of having a stack of crepes just sitting there on the counter, which sometimes does happen in a busy place. Put a little powdered sugar on there, fold it up, and serve it to the customer.